Ladies and gentlemen, let me be crystal clear. Success is not a mystery. It's not reserved for the elite, the lucky, or the chosen few. It's about what you do consistently, especially when no one's watching, especially when it's hard, especially when you're not getting applause. You want to know what successful people do daily? They don't just wish they had a better life. They build one, brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. Let's start with this. They win the morning. Before most people have even hit snooze for the third time, successful people have already made the first decision that sets the tone for their entire day. Whether it's waking up with purpose, getting their body moving, or journaling their intentions, they start by choosing themselves. It's not about being a morning person. It's about refusing to start your day with chaos, delay, or regret. They also show up when they don't feel like it. You think motivation is the magic? No, it's discipline. It's doing the thing you promised yourself you'd do, long after the feeling you made the promise in is gone. The difference between success and average is not talent. It's the ability to keep moving forward through boredom, discomfort, and fear. Successful people are not chasing perfection. They're chasing progress every single day. That means they're not waiting until they feel ready. They take messy action. They make mistakes. They learn fast. They grow. Perfectionism is just fear in disguise, and they don't have time for it. They're too busy getting 1% better every day. And let's talk about time. Successful people don't define time, they protect it. They know that time is their most valuable asset, and they treat it like gold. That means boundaries. That means saying a no without guilt. That means saying a no without guilt. That means being intentional about where their energy goes, because energy is everything. If you give your best energy to the wrong things, you'll never build the right life. And here's the final truth bomb. They feed their minds like champions. They consume books, podcasts, conversations that elevate them. They know their thoughts shape their reality, so they filter what comes in. You can't grow into the best version of yourself if you're feeding your brain junk. Now look, this speech isn't just about them. It's about you. You want success? Stop waiting for the perfect plan. Start with the next best step. You want more energy, more clarity, more wins. Master your morning. Build discipline. Prioritize progress. Guard your time. Fuel your mind. This is your permission to stop hoping and start doing. Because success is built one small, intentional decision at a time. So here's my challenge to you. Starting tomorrow morning, act like the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. Your habits create your future. You don't need more time. You need more action. You need more action. Because when you do what successful people do daily, you don't just change your day, you change your life. Let's go. When the alarm goes off in the morning, you have a decision to make. Do you hit snooze and delay your day, or do you rise and start moving with intention? Successful people understand something that most others don't. The morning isn't just a part of the day. The morning is the launch pad. It's the space where momentum is either created or destroyed. The first 30 minutes of your day set the tone for the next 23.5 hours. And that's not a motivational quote. That's a neurological reality. When you start your morning in reaction mode, scrolling your phone, running late, rushing to meet other people's needs, you're not leading your life. You're surviving it. You're handing over your control before your feet even hit the ground. But successful people, they flip that script. They win the morning before the day even begins. They don't do this because they're more motivated than you. Let's kill that myth right now. They do it because they've trained themselves to follow through on what matters. And that begins with how they wake up. The first thing successful people do is they take back their morning by owning their first decision. Getting up when the alarm rings. Not hitting snooze. Not debating with themselves. Just getting up. Why? Because that single decision, that single act of doing what you said you'd do, builds mental momentum. It's not about getting up at 5 a.m. It's about getting up when you said you would. Every time you keep that promise to yourself, you strengthen your identity as someone who is disciplined, someone who follows through, someone who doesn't negotiate with comfort. And let me tell you something, the most dangerous thing in your life isn't failure, it's comfort. Comfort is seductive. Comfort is seductive. It will steal your potential one soft, sleepy morning at a time. Next, successful people prime their mind for clarity. That could be journaling. That could be practicing gratitude. That could be writing out goals or intentions. But they do something to direct their thoughts before the world starts shouting its demands. Why? Because if you don't choose what to focus on, your environment will choose for you. Your phone will choose for you. Your email inbox will choose for you. Your email inbox will choose for you. And none of those things have your dreams in mind. So instead, they ask powerful questions like, what's the most important thing I can do today? What would success look like by tonight? What am I grateful for right now? These questions help them shift out of survival mode and into intentional living. It's a mindset shift from a I have to get to, from a what if it goes wrong to if it works. Now let's talk about movement. Successful people move their bodies in the morning, not for vanity, but for clarity. Even 5 minutes of walking, stretching, or breathing can signal to your brain that you are alive, capable, and ready to attack the day. It's not about the workout, it's about triggering momentum. Energy is everything, and energy doesn't just show up, you have to create it. Your body is a tool, and when you activate it first thing, you're not just boosting metabolism, you're boosting confidence. Next, they eliminate decision fatigue early. They prep what they can the night before. Clothes, meals, schedule, to-dos. Why? Because your brain is sharpest in the morning, and they're not going to waste that power on picking an outfit. They use that clarity to work on the hard stuff, thinking, creating, solving. They know that how you use your mornings becomes what you produce in life. Successful people don't always feel like getting up and doing the work, but they do it anyway. And the more they do it, the more it becomes part of who they are. They've conditioned themselves to start the day with action instead of reaction. And when you win the morning, you stack the odds in your favor. Your confidence goes up, your clarity increases, your energy multiplies, and you begin to lead your day instead of chasing it. So here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm rings, plant your feet, take one deep breath, and ask yourself, who do I want to be today? Then move like it. Act like it, show up like it. Because your future is not decided by some massive, once-in-a-lifetime decision. It's shaped by what you do next, and it starts with how you wake up. That's where it begins. That's where momentum is born. And if you can win the morning, you can win the day.
Every damn
day there. There will always be days when you don't feel like showing up. Days when the motivation isn't there. When the bed feels too comfortable, the goal feels too far, or the task ahead seems too heavy. But let's get one thing straight. Successful people don't rely on how they feel in the moment. They rely on what they've committed to. They understand that consistency beats mood every single time. We've all heard it. I just don't feel like it today. But guess what? That phrase has killed more dreams than failure ever has. Waiting to feel motivated is like waiting for lightning to strike twice in the same place. It's rare, unpredictable, and it doesn't build anything. The truth is, your brain isn't designed to keep you pushing forward when something feels uncomfortable. It's designed to keep you safe. That's why your default is to pull back, procrastinate, scroll your phone, or come up with 100 excuses why now's not the right time. Successful people, they don't listen to that noise. They've trained themselves to take action regardless of emotion. They understand that showing up when it's inconvenient is where the magic happens. That's where the breakthroughs live.
Not when it's easy, not when it's convenient.
But when everything inside them says, not today, and they do it anyway, you have to stop negotiating with your goals. Stop making success optional. The moment you gave yourself an out, you weakened your own momentum. Think about it. Every time you say, I'll do it later, you're voting for the version of you that stays stuck. Every time you delay, you're training your mind to believe that comfort is more important than commitment. But here's the truth bomb. Your future doesn't care how you feel today. Your future cares what you do today. And let's be real, it's not even about huge leaps. It's about micro decisions. It's about getting up and doing the thing you said you would do, even if your mood says otherwise. It's brushing your teeth, lacing up your shoes, opening the laptop, pressing record, showing up to the meeting, writing that one page, making that one call. Action breeds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence becomes identity. And identity shapes destiny. So what do successful people do differently? They've made showing up non-negotiable. They don't need to try to be consistent. They are consistent because they've built the muscle of discipline, and they use it daily, not because it's fun, but because they know that their dreams demand it. They've made peace with discomfort. They don't avoid it, they expect it. And they've realized that on the other side of that discomfort is growth. Now here's something powerful. When you show up consistently, even when it's hard, you start to trust yourself. That trust is everything. It's the foundation of self-confidence. You stop needing other people's validation because you know you're someone who follows through, someone who can count on themselves. And that right there becomes your superpower. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack the skills or intelligence. Period. They fail because they never get past the resistance of their own mind. They let feelings dictate actions, but successful people reverse that. They let actions reshape their feelings. They move first, and then the motivation follows. Because motivation isn't the cause of action, it's the result of it. Here's something you should write down and tape to your mirror. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. What you want now might be comfort, distraction, or avoidance. What you want most is progress, growth, and purpose. And every time you show up when it's hard, you're choosing what you want most. That choice compounds. It builds a mindset that's not shaken by emotions, criticism, or obstacles. Think about athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, anyone who's made a mark or canker. They didn't get there because every day was a good day. They got there because they didn't let the bad days stop them. They showed up tired. They showed up scared. They showed up discouraged, but they still showed up, and that's why they're where they are. So the next time you don't feel like doing it, whatever I eat is for you, do it anyway. Train yourself to act in spite of how you feel. That's how you take back control. That's how you build resilience. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd. Because showing up when it's easy makes you consistent. But showing up when it's hard, that makes you unstoppable. Nobody gets to the top by accident. There are no shortcuts to excellence. The people you admire, the ones crushing it in business, health, relationships, or any other area of life, those people didn't get lucky. They made a decision to get better every single day, no matter how small the progress. You bitten? They don't wait to be the best to start. They start to become the best. Growth isn't a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. It's a daily discipline, a relentless mindset that says, I'm not competing with the world. I'm competing with who I was yesterday. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think big wins are everything, that massive transformations happen overnight. But the truth, it's the little things. It's the daily grind. It's the choice to show up and do the reps over and over again, especially when no one is watching. Mastery is boring. It's repetitive. It's not sexy. But it works. Growth is not always visible, and that's why so many people quit. They do the work for a week, 2 weeks, even a month, and when they don't see massive results, they say, this isn't working. But the successful ones, they understand that progress is often silent. It's hidden in the grind. It's not about immediate feedback. It's about staying the course long enough to let the compounding kick in. Let's talk about what real growth looks like. It looks like choosing the harder path when the easier one is more comfortable. It looks like having a tough conversation instead of staying quiet. It looks like making a plan when it would be easier to wing it. It's doing 5 more minutes on the treadmill, writing 1 more paragraph, listening to one more podcast, choosing the healthy meal instead of the convenient one. It's those small decisions multiplied by time that change everything. If you want to grow, you've got to get obsessed with the process, not just the outcome. Goals are great, but they're not enough. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. What are you doing daily that aligns with who you want to become? Because identity is not what you say. It's what you prove to yourself with your actions. Every time you choose growth, even when it's uncomfortable, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. And let's be honest, growth hurts sometimes. It means leaving your comfort zone. It means being bad at something before you're good at it. It means rejection, failure, and discomfort. But here's the truth. The pain of growth is temporary. The pain of regret, that lasts forever. You have to decide what pain you're willing to endure, because both paths have it, but only one leads to a better you. There's something powerful about doing hard things on purpose. Every time you do something difficult and you push through, you build resilience. You prove to yourself that you can. And that belief, that's where real confidence comes from. Not from hype, not from praise, but from earned self-respect. That's the kind of confidence that can't be taken from you. Now here's where it gets real. Growth doesn't just happen in perfect conditions. In fact, it often thrives in chaos. Life will get messy. Things will fall apart. You'll be tired, distracted, discouraged. That's exactly when you need to lean in. Growth isn't about perfection. It's about commitment. It's about showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Santa, you're not always going to be motivated, and that's okay. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you grounded. Habits are what carry you forward. You have to create systems that support your growth, even when your energy dips. Because if you rely on motivation, you're building your future on a shaky foundation. Start looking at each day as a training session. You're not just going through the motions. You're sharpening your edge. You're testing your limits. You're building something inside yourself that can't be shaken by external stuff. That's what growth is. It's not about getting everything right. It's about getting stronger, wiser, more capable each time you get knocked down and choose to get back up. And one last thing, growth is contagious. When you commit to leveling up, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage creates a ripple effect. So don't just grow for yourself, grow for the people watching you, your family, your friends, your team. Be the example of what's possible when someone stops making excuses and starts getting intentional. So here's the challenge. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect time. You don't need more inspiration. You need more action. Pick one area of your life right now where you're playing small, where you've been making excuses, and decide today that you're going to grow through it. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because every time you choose growth over comfort, you take a step closer to the life you were meant to live. Fear is not the enemy, it's a compass. It shows you exactly where the edge of your comfort zone lives. And here's the truth most people don't want to admit. Your greatest growth is hiding right behind your greatest fear. That uncomfortable, tight feeling in your chest when you think about making a move, taking a risk, speaking up, or trying something new, that's not a stop sign. That's a neon blinking light pointing straight toward your next level. But what do most people do with fear? They freeze. They overthink. 1. They avoid. They come up with 1,000 justifications why it's not the right time, why they're not ready, why someone else is better suited. And they end up living a life that's smaller than what they're capable of. Not because they weren't smart enough, not because they didn't have talent, but because they let fear make their decisions. Here's what successful people understand. Fear is information. It's a signal that you're doing something meaningful. You don't feel fear when you're doing something that doesn't matter. You don't get anxious when you're stuck in the same old pattern. Fear shows up when something important is at stake, your growth, your reputation, your dreams. And that's why fear should be a green light, not a red one. There's a difference between danger and fear. Danger is real. Fear is imagined. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a bear chasing you and the thought of sending that email, asking for the promotion, launching your business, or sharing your truth. It triggers the same physiological response. Racing heart, sweaty palms, tight chest. But just because your brain says that this is scary doesn't mean it's dangerous. It just means it's unfamiliar. You have to train yourself to lean into that discomfort, to recognize that the resistance you feel isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign to keep going, keep going. Every successful person you admire has done the thing scared. They didn't wait until they felt fearless. They felt the fear, acknowledged it, and moved anyway. That's courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the choice to act in spite of it. Think about this. When you look back on your life, will you be more proud of the moments you played it safe or the moments you went for it, even when you were terrified? Growth doesn't come from sitting in safety. It comes from stretching, from reaching, from putting yourself in situations where failure is possible. But so is greatness. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It will say things like you need more experience, you need to wait until things are more stable, or what will people think? But the truth is, those are just stories, excuses dressed up in fancy language. And the longer you listen to them, the louder they get. The more power you give fear, the more it controls your life. You have to interrupt the pattern. Then you need to treat your goals like you treat your hygiene, daily, habitual, and non-optional. Now let's get real. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. You will mess up. You will mess up. You will have days where you don't follow through, but that doesn't mean you start over. It means you keep going. Too many people throw away a week of progress because of one bad day. But champions don't let one missed rep define them. They show up the next day and the next. Because they're not focused on the occasional failure, they're obsessed with the overall trajectory. Here's the thing. Consistency builds trust. Not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every workout you complete, every early morning you rise, every tough decision you make, you're casting a vote for the identity you're building. And when you do that enough times, you stop doubting yourself. You stop second guessing because your actions prove that you're the kind of person who follows through. That trust, that self-belief, it's your fuel. It's what gets you through the slumps. It's what powers you when nothing else does. Second, because when you trust yourself, you don't need external validation. You don't need someone to pat you on the back or tell you you're doing great. You already know you're built for this. And that kind of confidence, it's unshakable. Let's talk about momentum. Most people wait for it. But successful people create it. And it starts with one step, one action, one decision to do the hard thing. When you take consistent action, you build momentum, and that momentum becomes your engine. You stop relying on willpower because now you've got rhythm. Now the work starts working for you. You don't need massive change all at once. You need consistency, a little bit of progress every day, 1% better, one new rep, one more page read, one more phone call made. That's how you win. Not with huge leaps, but with daily inches. Because the person who moves forward slowly but surely, that's the person who eventually outruns everyone else who started faster but stopped. And let me be clear, consistency is a mindset before it's a behavior. It's about deciding right now that you're in this for the long haul, that you're not going to stop every time it gets hard. That you're not interested in being temporarily great. You're committed to being unshakably excellent. So how do you build it? You start small. You make your goals so simple they're impossible to avoid. You track your wins, no matter how tiny. You build rituals into your day that anchor your discipline, and you remind yourself constantly that success isn't about intensity. It's about intentionality. It's not about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every day. Here's your challenge. Look at one area of your life where you've been inconsistent. Ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take today to build momentum? Then do that thing and do it again tomorrow and the next day. Don't worry about the finish line. Just focus on the next step. Because if you keep stepping, you will get there. It's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. Remember, consistency isn't sexy. It's not flashy, but it works. And in a world full of people chasing shortcuts and quick wins, being consistent is a superpower. Own it, live it, and watch your life transform.